Dena Tollefson, welcome to my studio. I'm so glad to have you here today. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit closer. There we go. Well, it is a super cold day here in Iowa, and I am so glad that you're here joining with me. Let me get my chair. So welcome, first of all, welcome to my studio, and I appreciate everybody that's joining. And I see that, let me get this going. I'll get my computer going here. There we go. So I can see when you're interacting, I'd like to be able to chat with you. If you'd like to be quiet, that's fine too, no problem. Today's painting is going to be, calling it Bartholomew Sky. And it's a sky painting in my Daubism technique. And I named these sky paintings after characters of the Bible or people from the Bible. And or can experience this idea that I have of creation, the Big Bang and everything's coming together. This is kind of my idea of the Big Bang, when God brought all this energy together and created this sky for us. And every day he creates a new sunrise and a new sunset. So, and hey Madonna, good to see you. And thank you everyone for joining. And teal and primary yellow. And Madonna, how are you doing today, by the way? Phthalo blue red shade, ultramarine blue. And then I've got all kinds of, here my palette knives. Those over here, so got just a variety of different palette knives, different sizes, that type of thing. And I've got this round one here. This is for an RGM 60. We've got the low Cornell number 10. And I'm doing a lot of work today with these smaller ones, the RGM 57 from Blick. And this is another RGM, and I don't know what number this is because this one is so well loved that the number is rubbed off. But let's go ahead and get started. Now I've already started filling in some of the center of the painting, and I'll show you what my paints are here. Get the lid off. I'm using a Masterson Stay Wet palette for my paints, and you can hear. Oh, you're staying inside from the cold too. Yeah, Madonna, it is so cold here that they actually have closed off that the mail is not even going to be delivered. And that's when you know it's really cold. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. So, so here are the paints. I've already gone ahead and mixed up some of the paints I'll be using today, different colors. And I've filled in the sun here. And started to fill in the landscape. So yeah, it is, they said on the news yesterday that it was so cold that they think it's like a record cold of all time. And Madonna, what's the temperature by you? I'm curious what it's over there. And also thank you everyone who's joining. And any likes, I appreciate any likes that you give. Yeah, it's so cold. It's, so, all right, so I live in Iowa, which is USA, in the Midwest. And I keep getting, see, look at that, I keep getting this crazy blue on my finger. Let me get that wiped off. If that ever happens, it can just, as long as you get at it quickly here, you can get that off real quickly. I made that little puddle of blue too big on my palette. My finger keeps rubbing into it. All right. But yeah, it was like so cold that that they've canceled just like, I'll say pretty much everything is canceled. They even made it so that the garbage would come a day earlier. And it's supposed to be the coldest it's ever been, with wind chill and then just the actual temperature itself. I think that So you're saying it's 2 degrees. The wind chill is supposed to make it feel like negative. Oh my goodness, negative 33. Wow. Oh my goodness, Madonna. That is cold. Woo. Goodness gracious. You know, the irony of this is that it's going to be, they say like on Saturday. So today's Tuesday, and then it's supposed to warm up again Friday. But then on Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be like 40 or something like that, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which will be, you know, really nice, back to normal. I'm going to be visiting my parents who spent half the year in Florida. I'm going to be visiting them starting on Sunday. So it's like, well, it should have been cold when I went to Florida, right? That's when it should have been cold here. But you know, you never know, right? All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm just filling in the areas, and this kind of yellow-green color that you see here, I mix that with this yellow primary and just a tiny touch of black and then white. Madonna, are they doing anything special, like letting school out? Anything keeping the kids in today with the cold temperature? Or what are they, let me know what they're doing. All right, so these little daubs that I'm putting on with the knife, just going in and just scooping it up onto my palette knife and then placing it on the canvas. There we go. There was a TV show that my husband and I watched last night, Live PD, and they had, it was so terrible, I'm surprised I didn't have a bad dream about it. What happened was there was a dog, and I want to say he's like maybe a golden retriever or a lab or something like that, and this dog had to be rescued, and I want to say it was either Ohio or it was Rhode Island, but the dog had fallen into a pond, and it let out this, and a man had called for the rescue people to come out, and this dog, this poor dog, was making like kind of a moaning sound. It had fallen into a pond because it was attracted to a duck, and then the rescue people had to come, and they put like scuba gear on and went to go find this poor dog and get him out of the water, and it was really rather horrible to see. And so, so you're saying, Madonna, that you think that God likes to show the weatherman who's boss. School's out in a lot of businesses. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, Madonna. Absolutely. And hey, Joey. Great to see you, Joey. And thank you also for everyone who's everyone who has joined. And thank you also for all of your likes. I appreciate that you guys are here. Joy, I enjoyed your latest scrapbooking, your scrap journal that you had done. And oh my gosh, you always have the most amazing pages that you put together. I'm like so inspired. I do not journal, but every time I watch you, I get inspired, and then I think, why am I not journaling? So this green color, just a matter of adding the texture, and I'm going to just get a little dot of that also in the sky, in the sun area. Add these other colors. There we go. Hey Chrissy, how are you, my friend? And we were talking a little earlier about how cold it is outside. What's the temperature? So thank you, Chrissy. Everybody should write in what the temperature is, where their location, if they're comfortable writing that. Write your location and what your temperature is. You could, if it's going to be Fahrenheit, let us know Fahrenheit, and if Celsius, let us know Celsius. But I'll start out and say that my husband told me it was 20 degrees below zero in the morning. That's Fahrenheit, and it was that was without wind chill. So I don't know what the wind chill was on top of that. And so it was so cold that so hey Sema. But it was so cold. And hey Sema, it's great to see you. And it's great to see you, Sema. Yes, and it's like so cold here, it's crazy. And Sema, where are you located? Tell us what the weather's like over by you. I know in some parts of the, oh, thank you, Sema. I know some parts of the world it's summertime right now, but we're all just having a really cold time here in the Midwest. And they said it's going to be record of what it's ever been as far as like record cold, which is really quite the thing. And thank you for your likes, you guys. I appreciate that. Can you guys hear my little birds, Gershie and Romeo, out there? They are, they always have to get in on the action, right? So I'm just adding these additional marks. So I developed this technique, Daubism, because what happened was originally I was left to work, and one day I put a whole bunch of texture on, and it was kind of like, oh my gosh, I kind of like this effect of just putting it on with a palette knife. This was back in 2000, and then from there it just kind of developed on from there. I'm going to wipe off the knife. Noisy birds. That is Romeo, yes. So Romeo is the loud and raucous one. You're right, Chrissy. Romeo is the loud and raucous one. And then Gershie, who's a little, I'll say Gershie's slightly henpecked, that poor thing. Romeo's pretty dominant. But he is always the one, Romeo's always the one who's going to be making the noise. If there's any noise from Gershie, it's that, oh, and thank you, Joy. Yes, I'm so excited about that. Yes, thank you. Gershie is the yellow one. She's our little yellow cockatiel. And then Romeo, let me see if I can get, oh, and thank you, Chrissy. I'm gonna see if I can activate. Let's see if we can activate Romeo. I'm gonna do a little whistle for him. Let's do, write if you have a request of what song I should try and whistle to Romeo, and we'll see if he can whistle it back. So give me some ideas if you would. And then we'll do a little by request whistle that I can give to Romeo. We'll see if we can activate him. And this blue here is phthalo blue red shade plus a tiny amount of white. just moving, trying to get the feeling of the movement in the sky by arranging my... All right, I think that, isn't that a John Denver classic song? It goes like, country roads take me home to the place I belong. Let's see if I can whistle that. Do you guys hear him? He likes that suggestion, Chrissy. Let's see now, verse 2. Yes, in the morning, something she calls me. My radio reminds me of my home far away. And driving down the road, I get the feeling that I should have been home yesterday. And I'll say I'm not known for my singing skills, though I do, as a good Lutheran, I will belt it out at church, as a good Lutheran will. But, okay, Romeo's doing it now. Listen to him. There. Song request. And Vignesh Panoli. First time visiting your channel. Hi. Oh. Vignesh, thank you so much for your compliment. I appreciate that. And Vignesh, it's great to have you. Thank you for joining. And hey, Pencil. How are you, Pencil? Great to see you guys. And so you said, Vignesh, it's the first time visiting. And so thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's very kind. All right, so now I'm going to mix up a new color here. I'm going to mix up a color. Let's make something really special here. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to wipe off this knife. It's important to get all of the paint off the knife. And all right, excellent, Pencil. A little bit of the turquoise color. And let's grab some white. And a little bit of our yellow ochre. Let's see what we can do here. I added the yellow ochre to kind of add a softness into the turquoise, or that teal. There we go. I like that color. That's a nice color. Just a little bit more mixing, because I don't like if there are any streaks in the color. There we go. Okay. And we'll try that up on the canvas. Such a beautiful sound to it. Vignesh Panoli. It sounds that your voice, or your name, sounds very lyrical, like a song. If you guys have any other song suggestions for me to sing, so we'll see if Romeo can sing the song back to you. We'll give it a try. Give me any other ideas that you may have. And I'm just following the curves that we have here. And this idea is, this idea of the painting is that this is God's creation, and it's going to be called Bartholomew's Sky, from Bartholomew in the Bible. And my idea is that with creation, God made out a mighty breath, and then was able to just to just do creation with just with his breath. And so, okay, Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. Okay, don't stop, okay. Let's see if we can get him going with that. I don't know if I can do the rest of the song. So thank you, pencil. Oh, I think I hear him. And I'm not doing much of the song, and Don't Stop Me Now. I think that I know that my child John, when John was in school, they did a thing in their, they sang that as part of their show choir. And I'm trying to remember all the words, any more words that go with it. Okay. That's about all the further I can get. I can do another Queen one, Another One Bites the Dust. Another one bites the dust. Did you guys see that movie with Queen? The bird is replying, Vignesh, yes. Our little cockatiels, Romeo and Groshi, are really wonderful. Okay, so I guess could do Bohemian Rhapsody. Did you guys see the movie Bohemian Rhapsody? Right back if you saw that. I thought that was such a brilliant movie. And then for the UK people, I know that the band started in the UK, then it was just huge worldwide. But a wonderful, Freddie Mercury was such a wonderful singer, and it's such a shame that we lost him. Just a brilliant talent, a wonderful person. All right, we'll get a little green here. So, I know on Chrissy's live stream, everybody was saying what their favorite movies were. You saw that film, wasn't it wonderful? Oh my goodness, it was so good. No, on Chrissy's live stream yesterday, everybody was weighing in on what their favorite movies are. And it's like, for me, it's always hard to know what my favorite is at the time. It's kind of, I guess, whatever was what I've recently watched and been excited about. But that was really a great movie. All right, so let's get some of the teal. Now that we have kind of that grayed down, I'm going to go ahead and take the teal. It was fabulous. And then I love that they had, from the band members' perspective, was it Brian May? Was that the one of the original band members? I want to say Brian May, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. I thought that my understanding is that some of the band members helped with the documentary film and said that they wanted to be sure to have, really authentic details about what really happened. But that sequence that when they did that, Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go, a Figaro, that whole thing. Yeah, Romeo wants to sing in that too. But that part of the movie, oh my gosh, that was just so great. And to have lived through the time, growing up when those songs were being played, it was really neat to hear it. So, what's the best way to scan big paintings? You're working with a DSLR camera. Any scanners available instead? I'll tell you, Vignesh, I use a Nikon D850. DSLR is what I use, and I do not, I don't actually scan it. I end up photographing my paintings, and then I'll take it into Photoshop Elements and color correct it if needed. and then I'll go in and it makes a really large file. So the company that I canvas that represents my prints, they have to have very large files, and so I know the Nikon D850 is really great for that. But I don't do a scan, I'll just do like a JPEG. Okay, yeah, same, okay. But I know that that for flat work, so since my work's super textured and larger, then scanning won't work. A scanner can work on smaller work, I know that. Unless a person had a, like a really large size scanner, which I'm sure some people do. Yeah, people should, weigh in, and I'm going to be curious to see what people have to say in the comments or here in the chat. So thank you so much, Chrissy, and hugs to you. Get some of this down here in the water. There we go. I'm going to put just a little touch of this color up into the sun just to kind of integrate the two together. Just a little touch. If you're right up on the canvas, you can see it. But sometimes it's nice to just have a little color of the sky also in the sun. There we go. All right, now get my knife wiped off here. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and fill in along the horizon here. And I've mixed up a color using titanium white and a little bit of the phthalo blue red shade, and just the tiniest amount of yellow ochre. And I've got this lightest color. I want to be sure along the horizon, and I'm going to put really flat marks because I don't want it to stand out. But I'm going to put just a small amount of color along here along the horizon to separate the landmass from the sky. And the lightest color on a sky tends to be near the horizon if you've got, the sun is out. And we'll just get some marks in here. I'm keeping these marks flat and low. And for those of you who have recently just joined, first of all, thank you for coming and joining here today in the studio, and I appreciate that you're here. And just want to talk a little bit about this weather that we're having. And it is minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit when we woke up this morning, and it's so cold that they've canceled. Even the postman isn't even going to come. And they always have this thing where they say that they will, regardless of the weather, they will be there. The postman will be there. So that's when you know it's so shockingly cold. And then University of Iowa, which is a university that's about 30 miles south of here, and they canceled classes for the first time for all day in like a decade that they've canceled. And Chrissy, you said it's snowing by you, and Pencil is, I guess Pencil's also in the UK. It's funny, I think about, there's a show that you guys, I don't know if you guys watch this show. It's the Great British Bake Off, and I don't know if it goes by the same name in the UK or not, but it's got Mary Berry and Paul Hollywood are the stars, and people are baking on this. It's not now, but last night, you had snow last night. Okay. So the Great British Baking Show, which is, and I don't know if you guys call it that same thing there. Oh my gosh, I love that. But it's funny, when I think about England, I don't think about snow. I'm just thinking about perennial beds, and I'm thinking about that kind of thing. I don't associate snow in England. I don't know why. Maybe because the only times, Great British Bake Off. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my gosh, I'll tell you, I am obsessed with that show. Absolutely obsessed. And I don't do a lot of baking and cooking, but it is so inspiring to me. And I love their accents and love to watch and see what they're gonna do. Oh my gosh. But I think that my skills, my baking skills, I think have improved from watching that show. But we get it over on PBS, that Great British Baking Show. And Mary Berry doesn't do it anymore. Now, we saw there was a holiday show that they had. And so who is going to be the new person? Because Paul Hollywood, I assume, will still be doing it. They had a what they call the Great American Bake Off. They had that in December. So United States or U.S. people came over, and it was Baby Spice from the Spice Girls, and then someone. Okay, oh yes, and good to see you, Pencil, and thank you, and I'll be watching your video when you post. I will be watching. So yes, I wonder who is going to take over after Mary Berry. So write in if you know, because she was really, that combination of Mary Berry and Paul Hollywood was really a great combo. All right, so now that we've got the horizon in, and hugs to you, Pencil. Okay, so now let's put in a little bit of this sky color. So I'm going to go with this this other color we have here, these two blues. This blue was phthalo blue, red shade, white, and some of the yellow ochre. And then this one was just phthalo blue, red shade with just white. And if you look, I'll hold it a little closer. If you look, you can kind of see a little bit of difference. This is a little bit more cool, and this is a little bit more warm in its color. There we go. Just going to get a few of these little, kind of more of this blue. I would call this blue more of a periwinkle blue. Just going to get a couple marks in there. I'm also aiming to get a lot of variety in the different colors. So I'm trying to just make variations. Okay, Prue Leaf and Noel Fielding. So, so you're saying Paul Hollywood is not going to be doing it either? That's kind of craziness. And so Prue Leaf and Noel Fielding. Okay. Well, have you seen it with the new host then, Chrissy? I assume you have. And how are they doing relative to Mary Berry and Paul Hollywood, which is going to be a tough act to follow? Get a mark right there. There we go. They're doing it now, and what do you think? Do you think they're as good? Are they as good? Because I don't know, it's going to be devastating to not have Mary Berry and Paul Hollywood there. Is it just as good? There we go. Okay, so just getting a few more of these marks here. And what I'm also thinking about here while I'm painting is the idea of mixing warm against cool colors. So this teal is made a warmer version of that, and then we have this periwinkle. I'm trying to play light colors against cool colors to get they call that a color vibration. Okay, they're not as good. I can't imagine that they were going to be as good as Mary Berry and Paul Hollywood. It may be a thing too where we just have to get used to them on the show. And then do they still have, there were two ladies who were, they would say 1, 2, 3 bake. Do they still have them on then? I'm wondering. One was they were kind of like, they're really funny and engaging, and they had funny little things that they would do. So curious if they are still doing it or not. Okay, little ultramarine blue. I'm going to mix up whoops, let me get, I used the wrong tool for mixing. Let me get my other knife back out. Okay, this guy, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of this French ultramarine blue, and let's get some of our white and mix up a color. There we go. Need to make it a little bit darker. So let's add more of the blue. There we go. Okay, and I'll try it up here and see. Okay, you haven't watched them yet. You're going to download and binge watch. Yeah. Oh, nothing like that, right? All right, and I'm going to just get some different shaped marks. So I'm using this kind of paddle form. You can get a whole different, see, it's like a whole different mark with this paddle form. All right. I'll get a mark here and over here. And I'm trying to balance how many of these flat marks are on here. There we go. All right, and just a little mark right there. We'll get that guy right there. Very good. Now a little color, I'm looking for some color that can go in this middle area here. You're back, okay. Oh, yeah, I tell you, internet. I think internet knew it was cold outside. Maybe that's what it is. Somehow the internet knows everything, right? All right, so let's get a little bit of this kind of lighter blue color. Get him up in this section. There we go. And again, I'm just using this flat blade, laying on some color. So your work called, oh, thank you, Madonna. I appreciate that. So Madonna, we were talking about the Great British Baking Show and our mutual love for that. All right. That always amazes me too, you know, when they do the showstoppers, the technical challenge. It's always interesting to see what they're going to come up with. And let's get some of this teal over here as well. This turquoisey teal color. There we go. I'm going to add some more white. Make a lighter, add a little bit of the yellow ochre. And let's mix up a color, kind of a warmer color that can go over here. Yeah, it is a great show, isn't it? Oh my gosh. I think I've watched every back episode and all of that, and I have it set so it will record automatically. There we go. Okay, let's get this wiped off. And some more paper towels. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to go back in with this little tool and add some of these just fine marks, small fine marks. And this color scheme, I'm thinking about with the color scheme, the idea of that these are in blues and greens. Let me grab my color wheel. When I laid out this color scheme, I was thinking about the color wheel, and I was thinking about picking colors that were going to be in these blues and greens. Oops, let me move this over here. Going everywhere from this blue-violet color and trying to include blues and greens, and then just a little accent of red and of the red, orange, and the yellows, but really just trying to keep it on this side. Hey, Mondo. Mando, it's great to see you, Mando. Thank you for joining. So, Mando, this painting that I'm doing here, this is called Bartholomew's Sky, and it's my idea of God creating the earth with one mighty breath. And these Sky series paintings that I do, I name them after characters from the Bible, because since it's the idea of creation, of God creating the earth with a giant breath. So with that, with these ideas, then I've got this movement with the sky to show the energy that God created. So thank you very much, Chrissy, and I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, and it's a while since you could join, and it's great to have you here. So Mando, you are, I want to say Sweden, right? What's the weather like over by you in Sweden right now? We're having just a record crazy, crazy, crazy cold. It's so cold they've had to shut all these things down until for a couple of days. A lot of public things are shut down with the extreme cold. Oops, no, I got a mark here. There we go. If there's a mark where you don't want it, just add a little more paint, right? There we go. And hey, Davy. Davy, it's great to see you. Thank you for joining. And thank you for saying that, Davy. I appreciate that. Davy is an amazing artist. If you guys aren't already subscribed to Davy, you should be. And all of you guys, if you have Instagram handles, put your Instagram handle on so people know where to find you or how to find you, and be sure to subscribe to one another if you aren't already. That way we all support each other, which is a nice thing if we can support each other. So my Instagram, okay, Sweden. It's quite snowy here, not bad though. Last winter was brutal where the snow crushed, oh my goodness, crushed several buildings, Mando. This feels like a breeze. Good gracious. Oh, Mando. So thank you, Mando. Oh my gosh. The snow crushed some buildings. Okay, that is extreme. That's when you know it's cold and it's snowy. That is craziness. Well, I hope we don't have any crushed buildings here in the Midwest and in US. in US. Oh, that's terrible. Hopefully when that happened, Mando, hopefully nobody was injured. And I'll also say, I know that, you know, a lot of the architecture in Europe, they really, when they build things, they build it to last, and they build very carefully. So that's really says a lot when you say that there were some buildings that collapsed from the snow. Oh, and then back to Instagram handle, if you let me know your handle too, if I'm not already subscribed to you. All right, just a little dab here. So I'm thinking about trying to get a three-dimensionality both with the paint and with the texture itself. So let me wipe this off here. And let's get a... So, okay, Robert... Robert Lindahl. Robert, it's great to see you, and thank you for joining us. Wonderful to see you, and thank you everyone also for your likes. And so Chrissy says that's why all of our buildings were made of stone and brick in England. Weather can be cruel. Yeah, oh my gosh. I just thought that they did the buildings out of brick and stone because that looks prettier. You know, I guess it serves a purpose too, besides just being aesthetically nice to look at, right, Chrissy? Oh my goodness. Okay, so now I'm going to think about making some gray. So I'm just going to take a little bit of black, and thank you, Mando, for liking, and thank you. All right, so here's, I've just got the Mars black. Let me add a little bit of our titanium white, and let's make up a nice gray color. Because in order to make all of the bright colors look bright, it is super important that you have gray in your work, because a neutral, just like when you wear a gray pant, I'll get this closer, just like when you do, yeah, it's true, Chrissy, that's why I thought it was just because they look more aesthetically pleasing than like just a galvanized metal or something. But gray, it's kind of like when you put a gray pant or a gray jacket on with anything that's a bright color, then it will make the bright colors really stand out and look pretty, and it also helps to just kind of harmonize everything. So let me get this really wiped off. There we go. So now we have this kind of nice, oh yeah, good, Madonna, thank you. All right, so we've got this gray mixed up. I'm gonna go ahead and put just little touches of the gray where we have the same like value as far as dark versus light. And then we'll mix up a lighter color that we can put in the lighter areas. I'm seeing that this gray feels like it's very warm, and I think because the painting has got a lot of cool tones in it, I'm going to go ahead and add some blue in that before we put too many more marks on. Let's add some more blue in here with that. And so, oh, and thank you so much, Robert. And Mando says, do you mix the turquoise yourself, or is it one you can buy? Mando, this is, and thank you, Robert. This teal, this is teal right out of the tube, golden heavy-bodied acrylic. And, okay, and Vignesh, I'm going to take a look after this stream. I'm going to take a look out at your site, and I'm going to take a look, and I'll let you know. And okay, and Chrissy's okay. So Davey, you had asked what is the largest painting I've ever created. Okay, so the largest one I've ever done is in this technique, or actually any technique, was 10 foot wide. It was 5 panels, each panel 2 foot wide and 4 foot tall. And it was of water, and it was actually originally a 3-panel painting, and a hospital wanted it for, they did a remodel and they added another wing, and they wanted that painting, but they thought it wasn't big enough when it was 6 foot wide and 4 foot tall. So, which I think is kind of funny, if that wasn't big enough. So they, so what happened was I had to go in and add 2 panels, so one on each side. So I added a panel, so like if this was the painting, for example, it was a triptych consisting of 3 panels. I had to make panel on this side and a panel on this side, and it was an oil painting. And it was really interesting. Like, okay, how would you do that? How do you mix the colors, and the painting had already been dry for over a year. And so I ended up creating these side panels. And so I basically had the motion. It was a pond with koi fish and lily pads and flowers, lily flowers. And so what I did is I really just extended the motion. So if you picture this swooping like this, and then picture that there'd be motion, curving along on the other side. And it was important that it not look like those were just side panels, that it always looked that long. So, and hey, Rod Bergeron. And yeah, and it was this hospital bought it, and they have it in the foyer of the and it's Genesis Hospital in Rock Island, Illinois, and the art gallery that represents me, Quad City Arts in Rock Island. They organized the whole commission and did all of that, and then they installed it. They had to use like one of those people lifter things to get it up on the wall. It was like a 16 or 20 foot tall wall, and then that's why the painting had to be big, and so they had to get up on there, and they had the painting framed. But all your little friends are here, Rod. That's right. And Rod, I loved, oh my gosh, I loved your last video where you were talking about that you're so sick of barns and that you're not going to do any more barns. Rod had just done, if you guys haven't seen it yet, had just done a video talking about how to get motivated if you're in a rut as an artist. And his advice was, I thought, just really spot on, but he was talking about, okay, make different sizes of things, or try different subject, try different medium, do that kind of thing. And, but he was talking about, I thought that was really good. Oh, and Robert, yes, and Robert, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. I've had some people ask for more ASMR relaxation videos and affirmations, and hearing you say that means a lot, because that means I should make, continue to make more of those and that kind of thing. So I will definitely do that. And let me ask you, while I've got you on there, Robert, do you, when I'm doing the ASMR relaxation videos, do you like, I'm thinking of doing one maybe with watercolor. Tell me what your thoughts are, if you would enjoy that, or if you'd like that, or if you just like just the color mixing, or just, straight on oil and acrylic painting. That kind of input helps me when planning out the next things to do.
And you left Rod a comment. Yeah, wasn't that a great video that he did? I love that. And then Rod's assemblages are really neat too. All right, so let's get some more of this gray up in here. And what I'm aiming for in any section of the painting is I am aiming that far away it looks representational, and then up close it's going to be really something more about like what color is next to one another, or the texture itself, that kind of thing. So when I'm putting the colors on, I'm paying attention with that. And then I'm also like, sometimes I'll do a daub on here that is super thick, like a little deep, like a canoe, because it's I think that's like my favorite shape, is if I can get a good canoe shape on here. You'd like to see, okay, I will try a watercolor one, Robert. I think the next one I'll do in honor of Robert, I will do a watercolor one. And then as far as the length of the video, this last one that I did was a little under 30 minutes. I know, Chrissy, you've said in the past that you thought 20 to 30 minutes was a good length for that, or 25, 30 minutes. For an ASMR, like a validation, relaxation video. So let me know what you think. All right, we'll get a little of this gray in there. I'm going to run some of this gray down through this green. Yes, yes. And thank you, Robert. Thank you for your suggestion and your compliment. I appreciate that. All right. Now I'm going to add a little white to this, and let's make a lighter gray. So wiping off the tool. Thank you, Chrissy. I know, Chrissy, you said you watched one before you did your live stream, and I appreciate you doing that. All right, so here is a little bit of the titanium white. Let's mix that in with the gray that we have. Get this up here nice and close. So what I'm looking at here is to make a nice gray of a middle value that will go up in these sections to add a little bit of gray. And then let's also make an even lighter gray. By just adding more titanium white. So now we'll have our 3 different grays. There we go. So thank you for saying that. Oh, Mando, thank you. If you guys haven't seen Mando's channel yet, you should definitely go see what she's got out there. Mando is doing, she has like, her trademark is that she puts on her eyes when she does these amazing portraits. And so she does digital art, and she also does, you know, art, like I just saw recently, she had done a graphite one. But she has on her eyes, so like if this is someone's, let's say this is your pupil, and then the eye, she puts her trademark is she has like a lengthwise highlight that she puts in, and that when you look at that, you know that it's hers. Oh, and see, and I love it that you guys are subbing to each other. That is wonderful. It's important that we support each other. And these friendships that we form are really wonderful and neat. I think as artists, we oftentimes are so isolated from each other. And being able to interact like this and support each other is really good. All right, let's get a little mark down here. So this gray color that was just mixed with titanium white and Mars black, and then there was a tiny amount of blue also in there to just cool it down a little bit. This is just helping to integrate all the areas of the painting. Now, when Davy had asked, yeah, Mando's work is fantastic, and you guys also, yeah, and Davy's work. Davy does, and Davy, I just love watching when you're doing your. Davy does some like scary creatures, and I don't normally like scary creatures, but there's something so compelling. It's like his scary creatures are beautiful. There's something very compelling about them, and but when Davy is working, there's like this movement, this calligraphy kind of a thing, with the way he's doing his hand, and I want to say, Davy, is your accent Scottish? I don't know for sure, but there's he's got a deep baritone voice, and it has kind of I want to say Scottish, but I apologize if it's wrong, if I'm wrong with that. But his monsters that he's making are really a Mando fan, yeah. But Davy's works are, he can really get this idea of between light and dark, the value scale. So like this value scale here, the grayscale, Davy is the king of the grayscale, because Davy will be getting sections that are true black all the way up through true white, and getting a real three-dimensional, the Kraken. Yes, that Kraken, see, and the Kraken would be a scary show or a scary movie that I normally would not be able to watch, but seeing Davy do them, it's just, it's really wonderful and beautiful to see. So, okay, so now I'm going to just mix up a little bit more of our green. Grab the yellow. And this time I'm going to put some of the gray in with it. And we're going to mix up kind of a, whoops, that kind of look like, there we go. Going to mix up kind of a nice neutral using the yellow and then the gray. Well, thank you, Davy. You're very sweet. And Davy, is it your accent? Okay, you're from the north of England on the border of Scotland. Aha, okay. Yeah, all right, so I guess, so UK, and then it is a Scottish accent. All right. And also, I'll say, Davy, do you also sing too? Because your voice is very deep. Like, it seems like you would have a good singing voice. And I am not known for my singing, although I sing anyway. And I've heard Chrissy sing, and Chrissy, you've got a good singing voice. I bet you sing. Let us know if you're a singer. Okay, so Davey, you and Chrissy and I have, Rod, you said that you have discussions. Yeah, it is. His work is very awesome. I agree. Absolutely. All right, let's get a mark here. All right. Now I'm just looking to see where we need additional daubs. I think what I need to do now, what I always try and do is because and opera, you sing opera? Oh no, you're both part-time opera singers. Are you really opera singers? Is that true? Or are you just teasing a little bit? The Northumberland accent. Well, I'd say if you guys could sing opera, that's pretty tough. That's pretty good. Oh my goodness. I'm impressed with that. So my Oma from Germany, she was a big singer. She had long, this is back, gosh, this would have been back in the early 1900s, or 1920s, 1930s, something like that. She was a singer. But sadly, I never got her singing voice. But nothing can be done. An ancient land with thousands of years of history. Yeah. Okay. All right. He's kidding. All right. See, I was wondering if maybe you guys could sing opera. Now that the expectation is set, we're gonna need to hear opera. Right? You are not a singer. That doesn't make any sense. There's no way. Right? Oh, that's great. I love it. All right, so let's get just a couple of little marks up in here. Get a couple of super dark marks.